Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Tina and I am a DIYer and also a small business owner at Studio Calm. Every week I share different projects and makeovers and refreshes, and this week we are actually fixing some DIY fails that I made about a year ago. As the years have gone by on my channel, I like to keep you guys updated on how things are holding up, especially if I try out a hack or a new DIY. If you caught last week's video, then you saw that we worked on my back entryway and made this beautiful bench. And for this video, we're actually going to focus on my front entryway. It's been over a year since we made it over, and there are just some things that are not working for me anymore. So we're going to change that up, make some DIY solutions, and I think this is going to give you some good ideas as well. So let's jump right into it. Also, I want to give a big thank you to MD Hair for sponsoring today's video, but I will talk more about them later on. Here we are in the living room and into the entryway, and honestly, this is still an area I really love. I just think there's a lot of room for improvement. Starting with my DIY light. So I don't know if you can tell, but it is definitely not centered. A few months ago, we had a big delivery and one of the guys kind of like hit the light as they were coming in. So kind of in shambles. And then I recently just took off one of the little petals. So it's right here. And honestly, I really love this light. I think it served its purpose, but I think I just want something that's a little bit less fragile. And then if you go down here, this is completely naked. I had a mirror here that was just way too oversized and we ended up putting it on the fireplace. My DIY console table, however, has been going strong. This thing is seriously still one of my favorite builds. It was also very easy to do. I will link the video below if you guys are interested, but right now it's very bare. We have lots of packages over here. This kind of just becomes the dumping ground for new stuff. And I feel like that's the case with most people's entryways. It just becomes a place where you dump stuff. So here we have packages, and then over here we have shoes everywhere, which we are just lazy people. We like to put our shoes right here. So I want to come up with a system where we're able to have our shoes, you know, taken on and off pretty easily, but in a much neater way that won't result in shoes being over here and then sometimes over there as well. And lastly, we have the DIY mudroom that I still love so much. Like, this was probably one of the hardest things that I've built. This was the first project I ever did pocket holes on, so I'm very, very proud of this. However, as you can see, it is just not functional at all. This was a project that I saw on Pinterest and on Instagram, and I thought it was really great at the time, but I didn't know how realistic it would be for us to actually keep it up and make it look nice, especially since it's open. And turns out when you live in a cold weather state, it just does not look that great, especially when you have winter coats here. When it was really cold out, we would have our jackets literally just stacked up. This time, just to close it up and also add a hanging rod over here because we just have way too many jackets and 4 hooks is just not cutting it anymore. I think what we've built here is just a really good base to start with. When we first moved in, this was seriously so plain, but now I think it's time to just enhance it and improve on it. So it's exactly my plan for this space. We're gonna go head down to the workshop and get started on the first project. So first things first, we are going to take care of my shoe storage situation. At first, I was just going to buy a shoe rack and call it a day, but then I thought maybe there's a better DIY solution that will actually keep things organized for longer. So I was on Pinterest, as you do, and I looked up vertical shoe storage, and here is what I found. There were a couple of options that you could buy, but they were a little bit pricey for what I wanted to pay for shoe storage. So instead, of course, we're going to DIY, and this is kind of what I'm aiming to create. You can really customize them to make it any style that you want, but I want something that is super minimal. So I think I only need 5 pieces of wood. I found some scrap wood, and then I also grabbed this larger piece, which I may or may not use. So I'm just going to test it out and see what works best. Let me grab a pair of shoes. Okay, I actually grabbed my brand new pair. These are basically the shoes that I wear in every video, except you may or may not have noticed, but I was wearing a pair of shoes that had a hole in it for like months. Okay, besides the point, I'm just gonna use this to kind of figure out how big I need everything to be. I know that I'm gonna make this about 3 feet wide, but then for the supports, I don't know, they don't need to be that big. I know that Brian has way bigger shoes than I do, but this is just gonna be a general size. I wish I could tell you that all my DIYs turn out perfect and nothing ever goes wrong, but that is just not the reality of it. Sometimes I just need to remind myself that this was my first time doing any of this stuff, so it's okay if things don't work out 100% of the time. Okay guys, we are going to take a quick break here because I wanted to share more about empty hair. You guys often leave me comments about my hair, which I'm very flattered by. And lately it's been looking even better and also just feels a lot healthier because I've been using empty hair. If you're not already familiar with them, they are a science-backed hair growth solution for people who want healthier hair. And they even have products for your lashes and your brows, which I definitely want to try next. It can be pretty overwhelming if you're just getting started on a healthy hair journey, so I would definitely suggest taking their test. It was super fast and easy to do, and you just have to answer a couple of questions, and that way they can better assess your needs and give you a custom solution. If you're someone who's experiencing hair loss, they have a section at the end where you upload a photo of your hair, and it basically tells you the level of hair loss that you have, and it will basically build out a kit that is specifically made for your needs. So for me, even though I have naturally thick hair, I've been really struggling with how dry and also damaged it's been feeling. So I've been using this serum every single day, and I just massage it in, and it already has been making such a difference. So I really love this and would definitely recommend it to you guys. I've been also really loving the shampoo and conditioner. It just smells so good as well. All their products are clean and sustainable. They're also cruelty-free and paraben-free, so that is super important to me as well. They use over 100 natural ingredients in their products, and I love going on the website and seeing all the ingredients and seeing exactly what it does because it's really helpful to know what you're actually using. And I also saw on their website that they have over 100,000 happy customers, and there are so many great reviews on it. So if you want to try MD Hair for yourself, I do have a 70% off discount code. That is such a huge discount, so it'll get you 70% off of your first month of customized hair products. So make sure to click on my link down below. Here we have our 5 pieces, so the length of the board. Then we have these 2, which are basically the same length except about 1.5 inches shorter. It just depends on the width of each of your boards. And I have my 2 side supports here. So let's just do a quick dry fit. The bottom. And then for this part, it's gonna go inside here. I'm gonna have my shoes in here. And it's either gonna touch all the way down, or I'll do a little bit of a space here, but maybe this is cleaner. We'll decide later because I'm gonna put this together and then paint it, and then I'm gonna put this on top last so that it's a little bit easier to paint on this inside part. Okay, yay, this is looking so good already. And I think that's a good reminder for all of us to have. I tried something new, I made something amazing, and if it doesn't work for me anymore in the future, I just have to make some changes to suit my current situation. I feel like I have a pretty average amount of shoes, but it still is just everywhere all the time. So I love this vertical solution, and if IKEA doesn't already sell something like this, I feel like they definitely should. It's gonna add so much additional storage, and you can create these for any area of your home and also customize it to whatever style that you want. I've seen them in closets or even in garages, especially if you have a large family. This is a great way to utilize wall space without taking up any floor real estate. Like, I honestly cannot tell you guys how many times I've tripped over shoes in our entryway because they are just pushed by our door. So this is just the solution that we need to keep everything tidy and organized, and also to keep me from falling every time I come into the house. Okay, so we ran into a little bit of an issue. I was up last night trying to figure out how long to cut the pole. And at first I was thinking about just putting it here and then adding a bracket so it would just go along this whole area. But then I looked at the closet and I realized this would not really work. The main issue here is that if I want to put the doors back on, that means it's going to cover up like half of the shelf, which means I can barely even put stuff in and take stuff out. And then I wouldn't be able to open this up anymore because there would be no clearance for that. So sadly, I'm gonna have to get rid of these beautiful little shelves that I built. These were my first ever pocket holes and also the first time I edge banded anything. I'm gonna be sad to see it go, but I will try to repurpose this somewhere else. And honestly, I think it'll just function a lot better once everything can actually fit in here. Is it still too long? Okay, let's try this again. Oops. Oh, please work. Ta-da! A hole. And now we can actually put our stuff in here. Put long jackets in the back here. Oh my god, I'm so excited to actually hang up all the jackets and not have a giant pile in here anymore. So I ordered 2 different lights for this area. They are both a rattan style. I just don't know which one I like better. So let's open both of them up and see how they look. Wow, this is actually so cute. So here are the 2 options that I have. This first one's more of a classic chandelier look. It does have like white-ish hardware on it, so I would like to spray paint that probably. I like that this is more structural and has different layers to it, so that's kind of why I picked it out. But then after seeing this second one, I don't know guys. I really like the darker rattan color of this, and I kind of like that it's more of an oval shape to kind of break up all of the squares and rectangles going on in here. I honestly can't decide, so I'm gonna put a poll up on Instagram and let you guys help me choose one. Okay, so the poll is up. I'm gonna take off the old light and then we'll wait for the results to come in. Those shadows are so pretty and I'm gonna miss them. Okay, who else sings the Sorry Girl song? Oh no. This is exactly why I have to get rid of this. As I was saying, who else does the Sorry Girl song before they do any electrical work? Because I definitely do. Okay, let's check the results, guys. Okay, the round one won, which I secretly wanted it to win, so that is what we're gonna put up. Okay, let's make sure it works. Yay!
Why can't I be 6'2"?
Perfect. Let go.
Oh.
Wow, it's so much brighter in here now. Because this is a larger light, it actually feels a lot bigger in here and also just draws your eye upwards. I'm pretty pleased with this choice, and it's also so much brighter in here because this is 4 bulbs, and now I will actually use this light because it'll brighten up the living room a lot more. Thank you to everyone who voted for this one. It definitely was the right choice, and now I'm gonna focus back on the closet because I want to finish it today, so we're gonna put the doors back on. But do you guys want to see something dumb? Oh, what's that? The vent doesn't allow you to put any hangers over here? Why? So unfortunately, this is like the furthest I can put a hanger in here. And now there's all this dead space here. So I thought I would use these baskets I already had and I would just mount it inside with the existing holes that I already had from these shelf supports. And that way I could put like gloves and hats and scarves and then just hang it on this part of the wall. I honestly thought this was a genius solution, so I'm gonna do that before I put the doors back on. I should have known better to only use hooks in here because hello, I live in Chicago where we have all 4 seasons. So even though it looked good, it definitely didn't function well, and I'd be lying if I didn't run into issues with my DIYs. But sometimes they turn into happy little accidents because now I can use this unusable space for vertical storage. This house was built in the 50s, and people back then definitely had way less stuff because I feel like there's just never enough storage in this house. So I love that I can maximize every inch of this closet with these wall baskets. Of course, I couldn't leave these doors with those crusty handles, so I got these little knobs that I already had laying around. And I think with this color, it's gonna look really nice, so I'm gonna put this on. And I've been on an adhesive light kick lately because I just found these, which are honestly a much sleeker version to the ones that I used in my cleaning closet. There's a couple settings on here, so you have on, night, so then whenever it's dark, it'll turn on. And then you also have auto, which is the motion sensor light. So when I open the doors, this will turn on. And it's also a warm light, which I'm so happy about. The light in the closet actually gets covered because of this shelf, so I thought this would be a great alternative. So you have to stick this part onto whatever surface you need, and then you can see it just magnetizes. Okay, let's test it out. Oh my god, having motion sensor lights just makes me so happy. And now I can see all of her jackets. It is time to put everything together and get this entryway back in order with our shoe rack. This just fit here so perfectly, and I'm going to refresh the rest of this with some minimal decor on top of my DIY console table. We're gonna add a faux tree here because this area gets like no light, and I'm gonna ground the space with a dark toned rug that kind of has a vintage feel. With all of these changes, it just feels so much better in here. Let's take a look back at the before, and now check out the after. This refresh feels like a huge sigh of relief because I finally got to fix my DIY fails, and it is so much more organized and we have so much storage. I'm so happy with it. But of course, I want to know your thoughts in the comments below, and I hope you guys got some great DIY storage solutions from this. I honestly should have done this way sooner because now that it's summer, I really don't have a lot of jackets that are going to be piling up, but at least they are now stored away. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe below for new videos every single week. And again, a big thank you to MD Hair for sponsoring today's video. I will have all of their info in the description box. And that is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay inspired, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!